My name is Slim Slater. I live inside a man called Steven Salter. I watched him fall. I watched him break. I watched him get back up more times than any man should have to. This is his story, our story, told from the inside out. Because Steven could not tell it himself. He was too polite, too soft, too real. So I am telling it the way it actually was, raw, uncut. Those apologies. There was a time when Steven Salter was the boy teachers pointed at when they wanted to show other kids what right looked like. Clever, sharp, the kind of sharp that does not need to shout about itself. He sat near the front, not because he was a swot, but because he actually wanted to know things. History, English, science, it did not matter. His brain ate it all up and asked for seconds. Teachers wrote things like a pleasure to have in class and exceptional potential on his reports. His mom kept every single one of those reports in a drawer in the kitchen. She would pull them out sometimes, quietly proud. The way working class people are proud, not loud, but deep. Steven was polite, said please and thank you without being told, held doors open, helped elderly women with shopping bags on the estate without thinking twice. He was the kind of kid who made people think that one is going to be alright. He was going to be alright. He was not alright. Nobody becomes Slater overnight. It is not a switch. It is a slow leak. A tire going flat on a long dark road you do not notice until you are dragging on the rim, throwing sparks, and by then you are going too fast to stop. It started with boredom, then with boys who wore the boredom like a badge. Then with the first car, a beaten Ford Cortina with the steering column cracked and a wire hanging loose under the dash. Someone showed Steven how to bridge it, and the engine turned over, and something in his chest lit up like a carnival. The cars kept coming, each one a little more reckless. The rush was the thing, not the car itself, just the pure chemical buzz of doing what you were not supposed to do and getting away with it. Then came a small white pill pressed into his palm at a 1990s warehouse rave. Ecstasy, lasers cutting through dry ice smoke, a baseline that could loosen your teeth. Steven swallowed that pill, and 2 hours later he understood for the first time why people talked about feeling free. He had never felt free before. That one night cost him years. Cannabis became the daily staple, morning and night, rolled fat and smoked down to the roach. It smoothed the edges, kept the noise in his head at a manageable volume. Without it, the thoughts came too fast and too dark. Lysergic acid diethylamide arrived on weekends like a traveling circus, blotter tabs scored and torn. He would drop on a Friday evening and spend the next 12 hours in conversation with colors and walls that breathed. Some trips were beautiful, some were absolute horror. He did not stop. He learned to ride them the way surfers learn to ride waves, knowing you might wipe out, accepting it as part of the deal. The alcohol was different. That was grief. That was the thing he drank to stop feeling the specific ache of being alive in a life that felt like it belonged to someone else. He drank to black out. Blackout was the goal. Blackout was the only thing that felt like rest. Between the wheels he stole and the substances he consumed, Slater had constructed a life designed to destroy the boy who had once been Steven. There are moments you can look back at and say that was when the world changed. For Slater, it was the day the door came off its hinges. The world had started to look like a film he was watching from behind glass. And then he was apparently a danger to himself and to others, and they came for him. The sectioning, the hold down, the needle. He remembers the needle, the brief burning sting, and then the cotton wool creeping in from the edges of his vision until everything went soft and far away. He was placed in an adolescent psychiatric unit, and the unit was nothing like what it said on the tin. It was not rehabilitation. It was not care. It was containment, sedation, control. There were staff who should not have been working with vulnerable young people. There were things that happened that should not have happened. Steven, buried underneath Slater, had his face pushed further into the dark. They were supposed to be helping him. His Majesty's Young Offenders Prison, remanded, not convicted, 2 years waiting for a trial. Waiting for people in suits to decide what happened to the boy from the estate who stole cars and took drugs and had apparently come apart at the seams. Prison is not a place designed for recovery. It is a place designed to store bodies and waste time. For someone already fragile, 2 years inside was 2 years of damage accumulating on top of damage. But here is what nobody tells you about those years of waiting. They make you harder. They make you quieter inside. They make you watch, observe, calculate. Because when you are powerless over the big things, the date, the outcome, the length of your sentence, you start to find power in the small things. Your thoughts, your posture, your face. Slim was being born in those years, not yet named, not yet the man. But the blueprint was being drawn. Not Steven. Steven was too vulnerable. Not Slater. Slater was chaos with legs, something in between, something that could survive. And in those dead hours, the words started coming. Lines. Bars before he even knew what bars were. Feelings that had no better container than rhythm. Pain that only made sense when it rhymed. He called that voice Fatty Smalls. The trial came and went. Not guilty. 2 words, 12 letters, but not innocent in the eyes of the system. Alongside the verdict came the diagnosis and the recommendation, rehabilitation. For the schizophrenia, for the drug use, for the institutionalization baked into his bones. He took the rehabilitation. He had no choice. And somewhere in the clinical corridors and the group sessions and the medication reviews, something very small and very quiet in him decided to pay attention. Then came rehousing. Community, a key worker who showed up once a fortnight. And the chaos found him the way it always finds people who have been in the system, not dramatically, not all at once, but drip by drip. Crack cocaine. There is no casual relationship with crack. There is the first hit, and then there is the pursuit of the first hit forever. He started dealing because the habit needed funding. Bank loans, credit cards. By 23 years old, he had borrowed £50,000 and made in excess of £250,000 on the streets, running through his hands like water through a cracked cup. History repeated itself with variations. The second sectioning was less of a shock than the first. He could almost see it coming, but something was different this time. A nurse, he will not say her name, she deserves her privacy, deserves to exist without being held up as someone's salvation story, but she was kind. Not kind in the professional way, the trained way. Genuinely, stubbornly, inconveniently kind. She saw him, not the diagnosis, not the record, not the drug history. She saw the man underneath all of that, the man who wrote bars in a cell, the man who had once gotten gold stars. They talked, sometimes for hours. She did not flinch at the truth of him. And slowly, the way the sun comes up, which is not dramatic, which is just steady and unstoppable, he began to change. He gave up dealing, he started a structured day program, then college. Steven Salter, who had once been a boy with exceptional potential, sitting in a classroom again. Older, harder, carrying everything he had carried. He became a mental health mentor, a substance misuse worker, voluntary, all of it voluntary. Because he finally understood that the reason he had survived everything was so he could hold the door open for someone else coming through. When the funding ran out and the structure fell away and the streets called again, Slim was ready. He did not go back to the streets, he went to the factory, an operator, clocking in, clocking out, 6 days a week, sometimes 7. The work was physical, repetitive, industrial, nothing glamorous. But Slim understood something that Slater never had. The most powerful thing you can build is something that is yours. Every shift was a bar in a song he was writing with his hands. Every pay packet went into an account he barely touched. He saved for a studio, not a label deal, not someone else's dream, his own studio, built from factory shifts and iron discipline and a vision that had been sitting in his chest since the days he was rapping in the corridors of a ward that was supposed to have broken him. And that is where we end up. Top Cat, AK Slim, not Steven, though Steven is still in there, still the boy who got gold stars. Not Slater, though Slater's fire is still in the lungs, in the delivery, in the way the bars land with weight because they are not fiction, they are testimony. All three. One man. Top Cat AK Slim took everything, the classroom and the courtroom, the raves and the remand, the crack and the college, and turned it into music. Loud, hard-hitting, unapologetic. Because Fatty Smalls was always in there, writing in the dark, waiting for a studio, waiting for the right moment. The moment came. We made it, brother.